Hi, and welcome to another video looking into the scriptures, trying to find the truth from the lies, knowing that as in Jeremiah 8:8, the lying pen of the scribes have been active, hiding from us the truth and putting forward things that appear to be true in what the Creator wants, and when in actuality they aren't. So building off of the lies we found about the Ark of the Covenant and the temple, the only reason for those two things was to have sacrifices, so offerings could be given, and some of those were burnt offerings, burning of food, animals, and so forth. We're going to look at the scriptures that show that this is something Father never wanted. So when we look in Jeremiah 7:22, for I didn't speak to your ancestors or give them orders concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. How can that be when we have all these verses that say otherwise? Well, it's because the lying pen of the scribe have added these things. Amos 5:25, have you offered me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, you house of Israel? No, but now you will bear Sukkot as your king, and Kion your image is, and star of your God, which you made for yourselves. Similarly, in Isaiah 1:11, of what use to me are your many slaughterings, your offerings, your burnt sacrifices? I have had enough of burnt offerings of rams and of caged beasts. I do not require it in the blood of bulls or of lambs or goats. When you come to appear before me, who has asked this from your hand, to trample my lands? Stop burning futile sacrifices. Incense is an abomination to me. Your new moons, your false Sabbaths, the calling of worship. I am unable to bear your idolatry and assembly. Then skip into verse 15, and when you hold out your hands, I hide my eyes from you. Even though you make many prayers, I do not hear. Your hands have become filled with blood from sacrifices. Jumping now to a Psalm 51, 16. For thou desirest not sacrifice, or else I would have asked for it. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. Verse 17, the sacrifices of the Creator are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O Creator, thou wilt not despise. Proverbs 21:3, to do what is right and just is more pleasing to the Creator than sacrifice. Why? Because he's never asked for sacrifices. He doesn't need it. There's no place for it. Hosea 6:6, for I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of the ways of the Creator more than burnt offerings. It's not that this is something lesser. He doesn't want offerings or sacrifices. It was something that the nations did. This is the abominations that the nations did. As in Deuteronomy 12, we're warned not to follow the ways of the nations. Don't do what they do to their gods and then take that and do it towards the Creator. He does not want that, and those are the ways that men have come up with. So he doesn't want sacrifices. Let's look at a few more. In the New Testament, Matthew 9:13, but go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners. So he desires that we have mercy, not sacrifices. Sacrifices were something we never asked for. It's been put in by the scribes. Again, it's what the nations do for their gods, which we are told not to do. Hosea 8:13, they offer me sacrifice of flesh and eat them, but Yah does not accept them. Matthew 12:7, if you knew what I want, compassion or mercy rather than animal sacrifice meant, you would not condemn the innocent. Isaiah 59:7, Their feet run to evil. They rush to shed innocent blood. Innocent blood are these sacrifices. Normally, it'll be a young child who they think hasn't sinned, so it is a innocent that is sacrificed. Or the virgins that are sacrificed because they believe they haven't sinned, and they still have their virginity, so it's worth more. And they sacrifice the innocent. These are all corruptions and not the way of the Creator. Look at 2 Kings 16, verses 2 to 3. Uzziah was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and he did not do what was right in the sight of the Creator, and his father, as his father David had done. And here's the important part. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and even made his son pass through the fire. He sacrificed him according to the abominations of the nations. Looking in Psalm 106, 37 to 38. They even sacrificed their sons and their daughters to the demons. They shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with the blood of the innocent. Ezekiel 16:20. Moreover, you took your sons and your daughters, whom you bore to me, and these you sacrificed to them to be devoured by the false gods. Were your acts of harlotry a small matter? No, killing of innocent children is not a small matter. Verse 21, that you have slain my children and offered them up to them by causing them to pass through the fire. And in all your abominations and acts of harlotry, you did not remember the days of your youth, when you were naked and bare and struggled in your blood. So notice that he's calling these sacrifices of humans abominations. We'll continue seeing that in Ezekiel 23, verse 37 to 39. For they have committed adultery, and blood is on their hands. Thus they have committed adultery with their idols, and even sacrificed their sons, whom they bore to me, to pass through the fire to them as food. Again, they have done this to me. They have defiled my sanctuary. What's a sanctuary? The Sabbath. And on the same day, what same day? The day that's the Sabbath, Wednesday, and have profaned my Sabbaths, for they have slaughtered their children for their idols. They entered my sanctuary, my Sabbath, the same day to profane it. And lo, and thus they did within my house. His house is the Sabbath. Jeremiah 19:5, and they have built high places of Baal to burn their sons in the fire as a burnt offering to Baal, a thing which I never commanded or spoke of, nor did it ever enter my mind. Deuteronomy 12:31, as I mentioned, you shall not behave thus towards the Creator, for every abominable act, remember, abominable act which the Creator hates, they have done for their gods. For they even burn, so this is the most important one, they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. So all of this is showing that of all the abominations, the worst thing is human sacrifice. Human sacrifice is an abomination to the Creator. Now, this has huge implications for Christianity and their belief and thought system. Sacrifices, human sacrifices, are an extreme abomination to the Creator. We have to take that in point here, that Father never wanted any of these bloodletting, these killings of innocent animals, of innocent children, even of teenagers and so forth, or adults. Human sacrifices were not wanted. No sacrifices were ever needed. Those are the ways of the nations. By placing all this before you to dig into and look at, you'll find that he can't be an all-merciful God if he is demanding the sacrifice of a human, even if that human was perfect in every single way or place. For we have scriptures that say, one man's guilt can't be done away with by the sacrifice of someone else. Each individual is responsible for their own wrongdoings, and they have to repent and change and come to follow the way of the Creator. And then He will have mercy on them and forgive them. So this is all leading to, which will be the final video, on the abomination of desolation. You have to know that sacrifices were never asked for from the Creator. It's a lie of the scribes inserted in there to control people and to get them to do things that never entered into the Creator's mind. He's never wanted these sacrifices. He wants us to have a contrite heart, follow His ways, to repent of wrongdoing, to see and understand what His ways are, and to make that our way, the way that we walk in. So I will then do the next video disclosing the abomination of desolation, how it's been in place for a long time, and how it proves the true Sabbath. It is a hidden parable in Daniel's prophecy, which is mentioned by the Creator. When you see the abomination of desolation standing where it ought not, flee Judah. Blessings